No, dogs on the table.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
Rough.
All rise. The Supreme Court of Remake Justice is in session. The Honorable Judge Ohana McBailout presiding over the case of the people versus Disney's Lilo and Stitch live-action remake, a trial to determine if this film is a disaster or it's just misunderstood.
Be seated before I make you all hula for contempt. We're here to decide whether Disney's latest live-action cash grab has committed felonious assault against a beloved animated classic, or if there's any redemption to be found in this $100 million. Experiment counselors, let's hear your opening statements. Prosecution, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Honor, jury, and anyone who's ever cried over the ugly duckling scene. What stands before us today is not just a disappointing movie, it's a cinematic crime against humanity. Disney stands accused of first-degree character, assassination of Stitch himself, reducing the lead character to a supporting pet role in his own movie, grand larceny of emotional substance, stealing iconic moments while stripping away every ounce of meaning that made them memorable, criminal negligence of budget allocation, spending $100 million yet somehow being unable to afford Captain Gantu, or enough screen time for Stitch, aggravated assault on franchise integrity, gutting the ugly duckling scene, the Elvis montage, and every quiet character moment that made the original a masterpiece. And most heinously, premeditated heartbreak in the first degree, taking a story about found family and Ohana and turning it into a soulless slideshow of member berries. The prosecution will prove that this remake doesn't just fail to understand what made the original special, it actively destroys it. When rewatching, the 2002 masterpiece becomes an act of mourning for what was lost, you know Disney has committed an unforgivable sin. This isn't adaptation, it's desecration. This isn't a remake, it's a crime against every kid who ever hugged a Stitch doll while whispering, "It's little and broken, but still good." We demand justice.
Your Honor, members of the jury. Yes, this film has flaws, significant ones. But the prosecution wants you to ignore what this movie does accomplish. Live-action Stitch looks absolutely fantastic, a technical achievement that brings beloved characters to life in ways we never thought possible. Maya Kealoha delivers a charming, funny performance as Lilo, a genuine bright spot that captures the spirit of the character. The film explores Hawaiian tourism's impact with more depth than the original, adding meaningful cultural commentary. And yeah, the budget was tighter than a ukulele string, but they still squeezed out some fun moments and new jokes that land like a perfect Ken ball into the ocean. The defense doesn't claim this is a perfect film. We claim it's a film that, despite its significant shortcomings, still has value for families and new audiences discovering this story for the first time. Sometimes the forest gets lost for the trees. Your Honor, let's not lose sight of what does work while condemning what doesn't.
Counselors, let's hear your opening statements.
The people call the original Stitch to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, of course, why not?
Original Stitch, tell us about your arc in the 2002 classic.
I was designed for destruction. Buta learned about family. The movie showed my journey from monster to Ohana through quiet moments, walking around Lilo's room at night. And sure of myself, the ugly duckling scene where I learn about being lost and finding family, little and broken, but still good.
And in the live-action remake?
Just cute pet, no arc, no ugly duckling, no lost moment where I screamed to stars for family. They cut my lines like Gantu cut my spaceship budget. You make Stitch a sidekick in my own movie.
Heartbreaking. Next, we call Nani's emotional core to the stand. Nani's core, what? Made you special in the original?
I was Lilo's big sister, barely holding it together after our parents died. No support, just me against the world, social workers breathing down my neck, Stitch causing chaos. That isolation made my love for Lilo shine. Like when I took her to get a dog to cheer her up. It showed I'd do anything for her, even when I was drowning.
And in the remake?
They gave me a neighbor, some sweet old lady who babysits Lilo and gives me pep talks like I'm on Dr. Phil. I'm not supposed to have a safety net. That's the point. And don't get me started on them making me a marine biologist wannabe. I'm a surfer, not Bill Nye. They even had me ignore Stitch playing a record with his mouth on my phone like a distracted soccer mom. Where's my hyena?
Your Honor, this is what happens when you trade the soul of a movie for a cheap Aloha shirt knockoff. The people call the $100 million budget to the stand. Budget, what were you supposed to accomplish?
I was meant to bring Lilo and Stitch to life fiction with proper effects, full character roster, and emotional depth equivalent to the original.
And what happened instead?
They spent most oft-here time on making Jumba and Pleakley human to save money. They couldn't afford Captain Gantu. Stitch gets minimal screen time. Aliens look unfinished. I was spread so thin I couldn't properly fund the heart of the story.
So despite being $100 million, you were insufficient?
When Disney makes $2.6 billion annually on Stitch merchandise alone, $100 million was insulting from the start.
Defense, your turn, and no merchandising pitches. I see that Stitch popcorn bucket lurking. Dear viewers, the great people of YouTube, kindly like, share this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can make more of this. Now back to the video.
We call Mea Kealoha's performance. Tell us why you're a highlight of this film.
I'm charming, funny, and capture Lilo's spirit well. I nail 2 killer jokes, one in a jacuzzi, one with cobra bubbles. I make audiences laugh and feel the Ahena spirit, even if the script didn't give me the original's edge. I'm a kid, not a miracle worker.
So you're saying you carried this film?
Like a surfboard on a tsunami. Jury, you can't hate a movie when I'm stealing scenes left and right. Not my fault the director didn't push the character as far as the original.
Are there any additional witnesses?
I need to testify. I can't stay silent anymore.
Mr. Sanders, the original creator himself, this better be good.
I made Stitch 25 years ago. I poured my soul into that little blue gremlin. Disney made $2.6 billion off him, and what do I get? A paycheck to smile and voice a gutted version of my creation. You cut the ugly duckling scene. You turned Jumba into a knockoff Bond villain. You made Pleakley take a bubble bath for no reason. But live-action Stitch does look pretty cool.
So you admit this remake betrayed your vision?
They gutted my ohana like a pineapple at a luau. But I took the money because, well, have you seen Disney's lawyers? They're scarier than Gantu.
But you still promoted the film, right? You saw some value.
I saw dollar signs and hoped kids would still love him. But my heart, it's back in 2002, crying over a watercolor Hawaii that this drab remake forgot to paint.
Your Honor, the evidence is overwhelming. They took a tight 85-minute classic and stretched it to 100 minutes of fluff, cutting every ounce of soul. No ugly duckling scene, no Elvis montage. Stitch is reduced to a pet. They gave Nani a support system, removing her isolation that made her sympathetic. They made Jumba the villain, destroying his character completely. Disney, you've made billions off Stitch, yet you couldn't afford his heart? This isn't just a bad remake. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what made the original special. It's a $100 million insult to fans who've supported this franchise for over 2 decades. The prosecution doesn't ask for the death penalty. We ask for acknowledgement that this film represents everything wrong with Disney's current approach to their catalog.
The budget was insufficient, creative choices were questionable, and yes, it lacks the original's emotional depth. But it's not malicious. It's a flawed attempt to bring beloved characters to new audiences. Live-action Stitch is technically impressive. Mea Kealoha is genuinely charming. Some jokes land. Is it lesser than the original? Absolutely. Is it a crime against cinema? That's too strong. It's a disappointing but harmless cash grab that will entertain children while leaving adults wanting more. Sometimes that's enough, even when we wish it were better.
Quiet, I've heard enough. This court finds Disney's Lilo and Stitch live-action remake guilty of character assassination for sidelining Stitch and turning him into a blue Furby, emotional theft for axing the ugly duckling scene, and Nanny's desperate struggle. Budgetary tomfoolery for spending $100 million but forgetting Captain Gantu and half of Stitch's lines, and reckless endangerment of Ohana by delivering a drab, soulless cash grab. But this court acknowledges live-action Stitch's design is so cute it could sell ice to penguins. Maya Kealoha's performance is brighter than a Hawaiian sunset. A few new jokes land like a coconut on a critic's head. For sentencing, this film is banned from theaters unless tickets are discounted to $5 or less. Nobody's paying $15 for this. It may be streamed on Disney Plus, only by kids under 10 who've never seen the original, followed by a mandatory viewing of the 2002 classic to restore their faith in storytelling. Disney must issue a public apology for thinking $100 million was enough to remake a $2.6 billion franchise, and for making Jumba the villain like he's auditioning for Sharknado. Fans are ordered to rank their top 5 Disney live-action remakes in the comments and explain why Cinderella 2015 is secretly the best one. Finally, Chris Sanders gets a lifetime supply of Stitch royalties and a formal apology from Disney for gutting his vision twice. Kindly like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This court is adjourned.